We back with another one. It's your boy CJ Goodfella back with the boxing clinic with a nightcap. Talk some football, a lot of boxing today. Deontay Wilder, Luis Ortiz is done, according to Kevin Iole. It's a good, solid source in the sport of boxing. Talk some football, some more Canelo, Triple G, some Anthony Joshua. Now, we're going to cap it off with two young American, potential welterweight, Terence Crawford. And, IBF welterweight champion and Errol Spence. But, what I'm going to tell you what I'm talking about here. If Errol Spence was in Keith Thurman's position and had two belts, with Terence Crawford, call his name out. Does Terence Crawford want to fight Errol Spence? And what actually sparked this conversation was a homeboy, Jeff, out in Texas, shout out to him, man, had basically asked Crawford a question on Facebook. So most people, I didn't screenshot it because I didn't want to put Jeff Ish out there like that. I could have blocked him out. But most people, don't have Terence Crawford as a friend on Facebook. I had him as a friend, so I know the page is trill. I know it's real. So I didn't screenshot it because people say, oh, it's fake, it's fake. Jeff asked him, was like, what about Errol Spence? You fighting Errol Spence. Can y'all make that happen next? And basically he said, something was asked. He said, Errol Spence thinks different. And I guess he said that, it's no competition at welterweight. Crawford made something like that in the comment section, the people pumping him up. And Jeff says, Errol Spence thinks different. Can we make the fight happen? Al and Bob, hashtag Al and Bob Arum. And Crawford simply replied to cut it. And, I think, it's a couple ways you can take it. He can, they took it, people in the box group I was in, some people took it on the thread as him saying, oh, cut it. I'm worried about Errol Spence or I ain't trying to fight Errol Spence. I took it as, he said, cut it, that Errol Spence ain't shit and he'll fuck Errol Spence up. Some people took it as the fact that he was ducking Errol Spence. I didn't take it that way. Because when he said Errol Spence thinks different, and he replied, cut it. That's what I thought he was talking about, and I'm pretty sure that's what he was talking about. He said, cut it. Errol Spence basically ain't shit, and he probably whoop on Errol Spence, and that's what he thinks. He supposed to think that, and I don't think he ducking Errol Spence or would duck Errol Spence. Bob Arum has been open about making the fight happen. And I told you guys that how Constantine Pullman probably had the keys to it. If he beats Carlo Umcampa and becomes Errol Spence's mandatory, then, Top Rank and PBC Al Hammond has to work together on that fight because it's a mandatory fight or go to purse bid. So why not let Crawford fight him after Constantine Pullman? Thurman is sparring in the streets of Nepal or wherever the hell he at in South Asia. So I think this is a fight that should happen. I know Terence Crawford thinks he this big star. He's just automatically going to walk up and move up to welterweight and get a shot at Keith Thurman. That don't work that way, man. It don't work that way. You're just not going to move up and get a shot at Keith Thurman. No. You ain't with PBC. You ain't with Al Hammond. You're going to have to at least fight a dog or two. You're going to have to fight one of them. You're going to have to fight a Porter, a Peterson, or Errol Spence. And, when you both mention, names to each other, they kind of like, possibly. And neither one of them guys are standing on top of the table, standing on top of Mount Everest saying, I'll fuck that guy up. It's mutual respect between Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. And you best to believe that. Neither one of these guys is going to talk reckless about both of them. They know what they both about. Errol Spence like, what, it could happen down in the future. And Crawford like, well, I'm looking at Thurman. But he totally respects Errol Spence. So there's no disconnect respect between these guys, man. There's none at all. So that's why I knew when he made the comment, he was talking about what Errol Spence says different. So he's a competitor, and Errol Spence is a competitor. And I think that's a fight that should happen next. Or let, Terence Crawford get his feet wet. I think it's a fight that should happen before the Keith Thurman fight. I'm telling you guys, Keith Thurman going to take a tune-up, a Sean Porter, or Danny Garcia. He might take them in order. And, God help he don't get hurt again. You know what I'm saying? And he could fight 3 or 4 times in 2018. He needs to fight 4 times. even if it's 2 cakewalks. He needs to fight 4 times to get back his body back active. Because the body in motion stays in motion for Keith Thurman. But, you know, it's going to be a long time before one of these guys get a shot at Keith Thurman. So I don't understand why wouldn't Terence Crawford want to fight Errol Spence. And if you're talking about the particulars between the fight, and I talked about it before, the fight comes down for Terence Crawford. Can he take a punch at 47? And can he fight on the inside with Errol Spence? And he hasn't showed the ability to fight on the inside yet, probably because he hasn't fought an opponent that forces him to fight on the inside. You know, if he can handle himself on the inside, he should be all right. You know, Kell Brook couldn't hold his own on the inside because he couldn't hold Errol Spence after a while. Errol Spence, you know, was at the perfect distance where Kell Brook couldn't hold him. And when Kell Brook went to hold him, he was at that right distance, and he fired them shots under Kell Brook's arms into the rib cage, and that's how he stopped him. And, you know, I ain't been sold on Crawford. You know, him being a lineal undisputed champion, I'm with that. You know, but since, you know, I got a little gunshot syndrome here. Since Adrian Broner moved up and we dubbed him the next thing, well, I dubbed him the next best thing, he got fucked up by Madonna. Excuse my French. I'm like, you know what, man? I'm going to hold off on these guys squeezing down to smaller weight classes. And then when they fight guys they equal size, it's a whole different thing. And I think that's the same thing for Crawford. He's fighting a guy he's equal size, you know, bigger than him. And the margin for error is very small at 147 versus a guy like Errol Spence that can knock your lights out and wear you down. And Crawford gets stronger during the fight, and so does Errol Spence. So I think that's a fight that I would want to see before Keith Thurman and Earl and Keith Thurman and Bud. I think these guys should fight, build it up good, and regular ESPN, regular CBS, regular Fox. It's definitely a fight that's worthwhile. That's worth next. You know, if Crawford's willing to jump up and, you know, not, you know, test the waters at 47 and go straight for Keith Thurman, why not Errol Spence? And a lot of people want to pick Keith Thurman because obviously he's the guy, but obviously he has weaknesses. There is a blueprint how to beat Keith Thurman or how to trouble him. You know, body work by Collazo. You know, people already know he's been stretched out and knocked out cold in the amateurs. Errol Spence brought it up. And people feel that they can beat him. He got that chin issue, you know. And people know his chin isn't the strongest. And people don't fear his knockout power because he ain't been getting knockouts lately. So Keith Thurman going to have to catch a real body out here to get that respect and instill some type of fear or caution inside these guys. But if they don't fear or they don't have caution for Keith Thurman and he go in there and he actually start planting and start moving around so much and let them hands go and drop them bombs on him, they going to put respect on Keith Thurman's name. They going to respect that dog, man. They going to have to. You know, they think it's sweet with Keith Thurman. They can move up and fight the light-skinned brother with the long hair because he been out. Keith Thurman going to drop bombs on these dogs, man. He really is. He going to drop bombs on these guys. Not saying he going to win, but they going to respect him at the end of the fight. They want to cherry pick him because he the champion. He a light-skinned brother. He got chin issues, but he got that pop too. So we going to see what's going to happen. We going to.